1946. London wakes up to a day of celebration, prepares for its first great show after 6 years of war. In the streets, millions gather to salute the Allied forces. Civilians from the home front, comrades from the battlefront, wounded from every theatre of war. Representatives of millions who fought and worked for final victory. A state landau leaves Buckingham Palace carrying their Majesties the King and Queen and the 2 princesses. The royal party sets out to tour the streets before taking the salute in the Mall. And all along their route, they receive a tumultuous welcome. At the same time, from various assembly points, an Allied marching column starts through the streets. A 2-mile-long procession made up of units from every corner of the globe, of every color, race, and creed, of over 21,000 fighting men and women of the Allies. Meanwhile, a separate mechanized column moves over London Bridge on a sweep south of the river. In a war which was the most scientific in all history, victory was won not only by men, but also by machines. The fire engine and the tractor played their part, along with the tank and the gun. And so, in the victory parade, machines too must have their place. At Westminster, Allied commanders of the 3 services await the arrival of the mechanized column. When it arrives, they set off in jeeps and staff cars to lead the parade past the saluting base. Behind them comes the mighty cavalcade of vehicles, the finest war machines that scientific brains could devise and that skilled workers could produce. By the Houses of Parliament, the marching column falls in behind the mechanized to form one huge procession for the march past. Men from Britain, her colonies and dominions, men from the continents of North and South America, from Europe and the Mediterranean, men from as far east as China, from as far west as Brazil. They march past the Cenotaph, saluting their fallen comrades of 2 great wars. Meanwhile, statesmen and leaders assemble at the saluting base. Britain's wartime Premier, Winston Churchill, arrives with his peacetime successor, Clement Attlee. The 2 statesmen are welcomed by Field Marshal Alexander. Here too are Lord Portal, Viscount Allenbrook, Admiral Cunningham, and other wartime chiefs of staff. To the dais comes the Duchess of Kent in Wren uniform with her small daughter, Princess Alexandra. They are warmly received by the leading statesmen of Britain and the Dominions. Then Queen Mary arrives. She is accorded a respectful welcome by the assembled statesmen and an affectionate greeting by her family and friends. Finally, led by an escort of household cavalry, the royal coach makes its way through the Admiralty Arch into the Mall, and the thousands that line the route give them a great welcome. At the saluting base, the royal party is received by the Empire's leading citizens, by Mr. Attlee and by Mr. Winston Churchill, by Canada's Premier, Mr. Mackenzie King, and South Africa's Field Marshal Smuts. The royalty of England greet the royalty of the Allies. Among them, boy King Feisal of Iraq, Princess Juliana and Prince Bernhard of the Netherlands. The royal family take their places, and the stage is set for the great parade to begin. Leading the parade comes Britain's ace commander, Field Marshal Viscount Montgomery of Allenby. After Monty come fighting leaders from the United States, China and France, the military commanders of the Allies. Following them are Britain's service chiefs, led by senior officers of the Royal Navy. Next, the British Army commanders, veteran leaders from a dozen battlefronts. Lastly, the chiefs of the Royal Air Force, the men who directed the operations of fighter, bomber, and coastal commands. The mechanized column rumbles past, led by the tanks, the Cromwells, the Churchills, and the Shermans, the cavalry of modern war.